Here with Coach Simmons. Hey, Coach, year number 2 as you all get started with the OTAs, and training camp is just months away. But what did you learn about this team last year and just the defense and how they perform coming into starting a new year this year?
Wow, what I learned that this is a resilient bunch. This is a bunch that is extremely connected. This is a bunch that enjoys playing together. They enjoy coming to work. Just the level of resolve that they have, it's just fun to watch.
Where did you see the growth at most?
Of course, it all starts with the playbook. You know, particularly as you come in with a new system, guys just have to know and understand their assignments. As you give it to them in a second year, now they start understanding the why and understand how it's all put together, and then now you get more continuity. So with that comes even more communication.
Yeah. Where do you want to see them, step it up a notch? Because I'm sure towards the last part of last year, you saw them really starting to develop. But everybody talks about, run stopping and all of that. Where did they excel at the most last year?
I thought it was communicating. I thought it was tackling. I thought it was kind of the building blocks and the essentials of football. The things that we need to improve upon on defense, and we all know it, is taking the ball away.
Yeah.
And, when you take the ball away, that is the number one component to winning games. So we're looking and know and understand that the more we can get the ball in our offensive hands, the better chance we have to win and steal possessions from the other offense.
When you look at this defense overall, pieces that you added and everything, how much better does that make you all this year going into this season?
What it does is it gives us extreme depth. This team is all about competition. When you look at this team, you talk to Coach Quinn from the top, you talk to Joe Witt. It's all about competition. So we don't necessarily have just 11 starters. You'll hear Joe talk about it all the time, and I get excited talking about it. We roll with a deep crew.
Yeah.
So guys know when they go out there and compete, they have a chance to play. So the more depth that we have with how long the season is, we know our goal is to be playing late into February, and that's no secret.
Could you talk about your safety room this year going into that? Some key pieces that you added there?
Well, the number one thing is even the older guy we brought in, Will. Will Harris is a guy, he is a pro. It's fun to see a guy who he loves to communicate. You talk about communication, you talk to him, Will loves to talk, and we love it because you have a veteran guy that's communicative. He understands what it takes for a good secondary, and he's bringing the guys together.
And what about your cornerback room? And you guys got some new faces there. Trey Amos, what have you seen from him early on, and just the guys back there in general?
The first thing is we see the guys competing. We see the guys knowing that we are a positionless secondary. And when I say that, the guys understand it because they know in order to get on the field, you have to know all of the positions back there. And with us, those are 6 positions back there. And the guys are learning the system. They're learning, conceptually what we're trying to do as a defense and then moving pieces around it. And in terms of the young guys, like a Trey Amos coming in, I love the way that he's kind of ingratiating himself with the room. I mean, he's a humble guy, which you love. He's a guy from Louisiana. You can forget about that he went to Ole Miss. He went to Alabama. He's just a good guy who loves football and wants to be a part of what we're doing here.
Could I just ask you one more question about the defensive front up there? Some key pieces that you added up there. And Deron Payne, Coach Quinn talked a little bit about just his physique coming in, the best that he's seen him. You could just tell he's hungry and everything. Talk a little bit about what you want out of that defensive front this year, a little bit more.
The one thing I'll say about this is, and just going to talk about Payne, I see the focus. I see a guy who is very, very intentional about going to work every day. I mean, when you see that, you see a chip on his shoulder. I know the season didn't necessarily go the way that he wanted. We know that this guy has the talent to do whatever he wants to do in this league, and I'm looking forward to see him really take advantage of it. And that's even with another guy next to him, like a Kinlaw, who we've added. I'm just expecting those guys to go out and perform and play at their best and help us win football games.
Hey, Coach, I can see that you're excited about this year.
I really am. I am. I'm excited to be. I'm excited about the coaching staff. There's a connection and continuity with this team, with this staff, and just being out here on the grass doing this interview, I'm excited about it. So absolutely.
Hey, Darryl, last year, looking at last year, moving ahead to this year, turning the pages, what did you take from last year?
last year was a growing experience for all of us. Last year we spent a lot of time trying to install the defense and what it's supposed to look like. Like, we were painting the picture a lot last year. And then we got to the point where the picture became visible. So now coming into the offseason this year, they see what the picture is. And now those guys are able to freely work to get themselves in position to where that picture comes together a lot quicker than it did last year.
Yeah. Looking at the defensive line and everything, where did you see the most growth?
From last year to right now, like I said, I honestly believe just we had a chance to be in the same scheme twice. Like, of course, we made changes and adjustments to help make us better and put us in a better position. But with those guys understanding what it is that Coach Witt wants, what it is that Coach Ryan and Sharif and myself desire for them to be, play within the scheme, like, it's freed them up to go out there and make plays. Like, you can tell from just watching the guys' body of work this offseason that they were really intentful as far as how they need to get better. They spent time watching the film, realizing they left a lot of meat on the bone last year. And those guys are hungry, and they have a really high sense of urgency as far as trying to get this thing accomplished where you want to. So that creates a lot of excitement for us.
Speaking about excitement, you all were able to sign a lot of key defensive components, and on the defensive line doing, free agency and everything. How do you see those guys really helping this defense in some areas that you wanted to get better?
Yeah, so I got to start with my guy, Kinlaw, first. Like, I've had him when I was in San Fran, 21 through 23. So I got to see this young man grow as an athlete, as a young man, as a person. And saw what he put his body through to get himself prepared. He had some stuff he had to deal with in San Fran, body-wise, but last year he was able to put it together, have a healthy year, have a successful year, and we get confused. Like, this guy is really just putting it together, so that part is really exciting to have him here and be able to work with him again. And he's also a local guy, so this thing is personal. It's not just a job to him. We signed Dietrich Wise.
I was just getting ready to ask you about him.
Young Dietrich, he's born in Virginia too. He's born around the way. So a guy that's played a lot of good ball up there in New England. So to have a chance to add him to our roster has been huge. Jacob Martin, who's been a guy that's played good ball at numerous stops. He's a thicker guy, got some juice, some gas off the edge, can set violent edges. We signed Eddie Goldman. We signed Carl Davis, brought back Sheldon Day and Cleveland Farrell. Like, we have a really good group of savvy vets that have played a lot of ball, that it can still give a lot to our team. But, of course, I'm selfish. They can give a lot to Jerzon Newton and Javonte Jean-Baptiste and all the young guys we had in the room. So it's a really good mesh of guys that's really going to help us do some good things this year.
Is this the kind of depth that you all wanted, and from year one to be able to build that depth where you can move multiple people around also?
Yes, ma'am. It's huge. As you know, we only get to dress 8 to 9 defensive linemen on game day. So you got to be interchangeable. You got to be smart. You got to understand what we're trying to get accomplished holistically for us to really be in the best position. So I think that the guys that we've added, as well as the guys that have been here being in year 2 of this thing, it's really just going to help us out tremendously as far as being able to put guys in position to make plays. That's one thing that Coach Witt really strives and stresses to do within our scheme. Like, you can't be a one-trick pony. Like, how can you help us in numerous spots? And that's from the front end to the linebackers, with Oos coming up playing DN sometimes, to the DBs. Like, we're all very interchangeable in what we do, and we're a very smart group, so we know how to attack this thing.
Putting people in position to make plays. Darryl Tapp here, Donna Hopkins, Pro Football Plus.